Welcome to Just Peachy with Deb
and Wendy.
Growing up in the 70s in our Toronto Beach neighborhood was a time unlike any other. Bell-bottom pants, high handlebars and banana seats, water buffalo sandals, crazy adventures, and home with the streetlights. We have lots of stories to share.
So sit back and join us as we reminisce about the people and the times that shaped our lives. Freezing rain keeps falling on our heads. So we thought we'd do a Just Beachy podcast instead. Welcome with Wendy and Deb. So, la 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 la. And that's where my brain takes me tonight.
It has been...
I'm la-la-lying.
It's been a horrible week for so many people that live in our area, north. Oh my gosh. We got rain. We didn't get ice. But Kawarthas and Peterborough and east to Tweed and all through there, Belleville. Aurelia was declared an emergency zone.
Yeah. No, we didn't. It wasn't too bad in Guelph on the weekend. I mean, it wasn't the greatest weather, but today, was a little, I'm not the greatest, well, I'm a good winter driver, but I'm a nervous winter driver. And it's funny, today was probably the worst day I've had to drive all winter. Coming home from work. And luckily I'm only 10 minutes away, but it doesn't matter whether you're an hour away, 10 minutes away, it's still just as treacherous. So
it's crazy. Yeah. It's really dicey on the roads. There was nothing at like noon, 12:30. And then I looked out the window and it was all white and it was like, you could hear it against the window. I'm thinking, oh gosh, now it's our turn. It's our turn. But
and then tomorrow's going to be high of 18 and sunny in Guelph. Like it's crazy.
It is crazy.
One extreme to another. I used to do, I still do. I do the MS walk every year. Mm-hmm. And we used to do it here in April, but we walked in one too many snowstorms. So they moved it to later in May now. And because now we don't have to worry about that. But we've had some very cold walks and you never know what you're going to get in April, right? It's not over till it's over.
So here we are. We are back. It's been a while. I've been out with a virus, and tonight, looking at myself on the screen, I don't know.
I guess it's been a couple of weeks since we've done this, but you've been under the weather. I've been under the weather.
Yeah,
the world's been under the weather. We're just. I think it's sapping everyone's energy. And, we're coming out of Mercury retrograde shortly, I think.
Soon, the 6th.
So that should help turn things around too. But it's just, everything seems so heavy. And
it's a dumpster fire. The world.
Even the Facebook page has been really quiet because I think everyone's just tired.
Yeah, and I think a lot of people are offline with the storm.
That too.
We feel for everybody who went through that. A couple of years ago, I was in a storm like that when I was in Lindsay a couple of years ago, 30 years ago. Not quite that long, but it was horrible. It was really scary.
Yeah, no, I could believe that.
Actually, it was a hurricane, not a
ice storm.
But ice storm, yeah.
Yeah.
That was scary enough. Mother Nature.
Better days. I mean, we're now in April, so I think,
Yay.
March went out like a lion and April came in like a lion. So there has to be a lamb somewhere in there. Maybe for
Bring
Easter.
out the lamb. The Paschal lamb. Yeah, there we go. Very good.
Like that little
joke.
segue?
Christian joke. We're really in good form tonight, folks. So we were talking about Easter, and when we were growing up, it was different because maybe not everybody went to church every Sunday, but they went for Christmas and Easter. It was a big thing. And so we got hauled to church. We often, when we still lived with Graham when we were little, Easter would come around and we had to get new clothing. We had to get dressed. I got a little dress and I get a little purse and I even had gloves and new shoes. Little
See,
patent
and
leather shoe
I don't
number with
remember.
buckles.
Maybe I was too young. Too young. I was too young
You
to
were
remember.
probably, you probably were. Because if I was like, what, 7 or 8, you'd be like in onesies, you know?
Yeah. I'd be like, 1 or 2 years old, right? So,
Yeah.
yeah, I don't recall getting dressed up for Easter. All I can remember is the chocolate we used to get for Easter. The plethora of chocolate.
We did indeed. Our grandfather was a chocoholic, and he knew where all the good bargains was. He probably went to, like, downtown to um, his discount places, because he came back with loads of it.
Oh, yeah. Because we'd get chocolate at home, and then we'd go to Grammy and Grampy's for the afternoon and for dinner, from what I recall. And and we'd go in, and the living room was set up with all our Easter stuff.
That's right. We'd
And the
have baskets, and they give us little presents too. Like, we'd have things for school, or because it was spring, we get like a skipping rope, or remember that? And
that's true too.
Not water guns yet, but just things for the spring season that we can enjoy. That would make them crazy.
It was always the Allen chocolate that we used to get, because that was the only thing that was sold back then. I don't know, but like the big,
or the store that Grampy frequented, Park and Harold's, the byway,
and then getting the Easter egg, the hollow egg that had the really pretty chocolate going around it, and then our names would be written on it. I don't think you can find those anymore.
Maybe. Well, I think they probably sell them somewhere, but it's probably like, $14
a specialized chocolate store or something. You just can't go into Shoppers Drug Mart and buy them anymore, I don't think.
No. There's not somebody sitting with the icing to... Ooh, we're getting thunder. That was a big clap. Yeah. Can you hear that?
Yeah, I did. But the Allen Easter chocolate had a distinct taste. And to me, it was probably the worst chocolate. Some people may have hated it, but to me, that is Easter.
The taste of Easter.
I think I was married maybe 5-6 years, and Bruce, my husband, bought me an Easter bunny for Easter one year, and he got it at the Bay, and it was this very fancy dark chocolate bunny, and he was so proud that he got me this bunny, right? But it wasn't Easter chocolate. I was appreciative, but it's like, this is not what I think of Easter chocolate as.
It's not Allen's.
It's not Allen's chocolate. Now, Carnaby, the Shoppers brand chocolate, is pretty close to it.
You're right, that's true.
I mean, maybe I'm not a chocolate connoisseur. No, give me a Canadian Dairy Milk chocolate bar. Much better than the British, the Australian, and the U.S. No one holds that against me, but Canadian Cadbury is the best milk chocolate. And, but yeah, there's just something about, bad chocolate, I guess. I don't know. Maybe, but to me, that's what Easter tastes like. Or makes any sense.
We would get Laura's Secret stuff at Easter too. Like,
that's true.
Usually a chocolate mint bar or something. And that was good. They were always good. And the butterscotch. Remember the lollipops?
Oh, yeah.
The butterscotch? Oh. The other ones were not so great, but butterscotch was so good.
I wonder, there's so few Laura Secords around anymore.
I'm going to a mall tomorrow. I'll take a look. I think they do have Laura Secrets in there.
You have to see if they have those suckers. Because,
I will.
Because they were like rectangle, right? They were...
Yeah. And they're a little bit, like, they weren't totally hard. They're a little bit soft. You could kind of, like, slush on top of cement.
That's true.
You know what I mean?
And speaking of Laura Secord, just because now that you brought that up, we had one at the top of Scarborough Road.
We did.
It was a small little one, but you could buy the pudding cups in the aluminum cans, right, with the pop lid.
I almost remember those.
They were so good. I don't think you could buy them in the grocery store, only at Laura Secord.
The candy factory, I don't know if it still is, but it was on Birchmount, I think, or Kennedy. It was up past Danforth Road. It was up that way. And you could smell the chocolate. Because one of my friends, Laura, used to live there. And when I went to visit her, if they were baking or making candy, you could smell it.
Wow.
You could gain
Remember
10
her
pounds.
mom's favorite was the dark chocolate, the
Almond bark. Oh, that was so good.
Yeah, that was her favorite.
People out there are
The lower seed
drooling.
cord. Yeah.
If you knew the almond bark, it was the best. It was really well done. Yeah.
It was.
Yeah. It was a good quality chocolate too, I think.
But now, not so much. I don't think. I mean, who knows who owns it now? I mean, this is kind of a Debbie Downer, right? But, but the last time I bought, at HomeSense, when you go to checkout, they have, you can buy the bars, the large bars.
Right.
And for a pretty good price. So I bought one, brought it home, and it's like, this is not the lower seed cord I remember. Purdy's chocolate is the lower seed cord flavor I remember. But yeah, I don't know. It's just, maybe it's not made in the quantities or whatever like it used to, and maybe it's just a small part of another company now. Who knows?
Well, that could be, and they just call
keep
it
the
lower
name
seed
alive.
cord. Yeah, maybe. I don't know.
So those out there listening to this, give us, go find lower seed cord, buy one of their chocolate bars, and let us know. Is it just me?
We'll do a poll.
Has Ellen's chocolate ruined me for life? I don't know.
It probably did. It probably. I know.
Did. Just give me the cheap Easter chocolate, and I'll be happy.
And it was good. It was actually quite tasty.
Yeah.
In it.
Well, actually, I can remember one Easter, and this is a different story than what I told you about earlier, Deb. But I can remember we had solid bunnies one year, and you kept yours in your dresser drawer, and I think I finished mine. And I would go into your drawer, take it out, slip it out quietly out of the plastic, take a bite, but you caught on because you could see my teeth marks.
The incredible, mysterious, shrinking bunny. Why do you think I put it in my drawer?
So mad at me.
But I was saving it. I was savoring it.
I thought it, and my teeth are kind of like rabbit teeth, right? So you
Mom!
Oh, man.
That's funny.
But the other time we were talking about was, and I don't know if you were part of the Easter egg hunt
More
or not.
secrets that Wendy didn't tell me.
But my mom, she would do an Easter egg hunt for us.
Yes.
And we had stairs and a little landing, so she would put, all the eggs on the stairs. And I remember one year, my older brother
closet
and I,
under the stairs.
No, we'd never find anything in that closet under the stairs.
They might still be there.
But my older brother and I, we got up earlier, woke up early, I guess, before my younger brother and Deb. And so we went and picked up all the eggs. We did the Easter egg hunt on our own. And my mom got up and she was
This is
so
what
mad.
I had to live with.
She got really mad at us that we did that. And she made us put all the eggs back so our younger brother could participate. I don't know how old we were, but it would have been before Scruff.
Old
because
enough to know
Got
better.
Because once we got Scruffy, I think Easter egg hunts went to the wayside. Because
she came in 72, right?
Yeah, so it would have been, probably maybe the Easter after Dad died, maybe.
Yeah.
Right? Because then we would have had her that summer.
Yeah.
So, yeah. But yeah, just thinking of me sneaking your chocolate bunny out of your drawer. That was funny.
I didn't. That is a blast from the past that I will trust you.
And I
don't
got away
remember
with it for a long time before you finally got it.
That's how much I notice things, I was busy living my life and doing all my stuff.
You probably weren't the chocolate fiend like I was, though.
Well, maybe I didn't really like the solid bunnies. I still don't. I had to cut them with a knife or something because I was afraid I'd break my teeth. I like the hollow ones. But yeah, I like the white chocolate better than the dark chocolate.
I just like,
which isn't even chocolate apparently. So
no, exactly. I'm not sure what it's supposed to be. But anyways,
we'll do some research on that too. Yeah, no.
Well, even as when I had my kids, the first three, anyways, not so much my youngest daughter, But I can remember every Easter, like kind of continuing that tradition that you went and bought them a new dress and new
Right.
shoes and bonnets, like a cute little Easter hat. And, my son, he got, a cute little shirt and maybe a bow tie or something to wear.
Right. Right.
Right. But I think once my last little one came along, the other ones were that much older that we didn't tend to do that. And I don't even know if we were going to church anymore because Easter Sunday, is the busiest day at any church, right?
Right.
And it
hey, haven't seen you since Christmas. How you doing? Yeah. 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 Oh yeah, it was great. Doing the priest thing back in the parish days. We would have like the regular crowd that would come and 50, 60 people on a Sunday, maybe a bit more depending on the church, or less depending on the church. But on Easter Sunday, when everybody's coming back to visit, it swelled up to like 200 people. It felt so good. And people would remark, remember when every Sunday was like this back in the day, like in the 50s and the 60s? And we'd all just sort of nod and run out of communion bread and have to bless more. And it was, it was an event. It was an event to have people at church. And then there was always like between the 8:30 service and the 10:30 service, usually the choir was at both. You tended not to come to the 8:30, but we would have a breakfast in between. That seemed to be the tradition in the Anglican church. And so we'd be fed and have some camaraderie. And next thing you know, we had to go do it again. So I loved Easter. Easter at church was so much fun. But
I think as kids, we liked Easter because it was a very long weekend, right?
It was. It was. And, it didn't stop with it. People would bring us all kinds of candy all the time. All through Easter Monday, we were still getting candy from neighbors and stuff.
Well, that's true. That's true. Yeah, and although Quizmaster Amy doesn't know it yet, we're going to ask her if maybe for next week's podcast, she wants to put together an Easter quiz.
Oh, that should be interesting.
It's been a while. We haven't done one since before Christmas, so it's quiz time.
It's quiz time, Quizmaster Amy. That'd be fun.
She always comes up with such good quizzes. Now, whether
she really does.
I don't know if you can do an Easter quiz of the 70s. I don't know. It'll probably just be a general Easter quiz, I would think.
Yeah. What was the name of the 6-foot invisible bunny that was James Stewart's friend? That kind of thing.
I know that one.
She could,
ding, 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 ding. Harvey.
Yes. That's such a good movie. It's so sad.
I don't know if I've ever seen that one.
It's very good. You must watch it immediately. It's very good.
Oh. If I
watch it for Easter.
Is it an Easter movie?
No, it's not actually. He just has a friend who's
I know.
funny. But he's really good. It's I like Jimmy Stewart. He played some excellent roles.
He did.
I've been watching. This isn't 70s, but I've been watching. It's kind of the 40s. Gem TV. I've discovered Gem TV, and there are some really good shows. You can watch the whole entire series of Schitt's Creek, which I love, and other things that you can go back to the beginning watch. This hour has 22 minutes and Air Farce and all those kind of great comedies. CBC's original. They've got this thing that it's a little bit old now. I didn't discover it at the time. It's called Frankie Drake Mysteries, and it's set in Toronto in the 40s. I love it because it's the 40s, and they I guess they have to use a lot of tech stuff to cut out the skyscrapers and everything because it looks like Toronto of the 40s, like the location are old buildings and stuff, but when they do a shot like from the lake, all you see is the Royal York and a couple of and lots of smokestacks. It's very good. I love it. And you can see the spire of City Hall, old City Hall, and it's Chinatown, and they're going into this little cafe, and they're all like little shanties. It's really good. I don't know.
Just because you kind of mentioned that, I mean, this was in the 40s, but when Grampy we'd go on a car trip with him, whatever, like to Burlington and coming back along the QEW.
Yeah.
And everything you could see, like you could see the Royal York from the Gardner Expressway, right?
Oh yeah. There was
now
nothing
I don't come
it.
that way very often because it's kind of out of the way for me. But when I do, it's like I don't even recognize where I am.
No, I'm the same way. When I came into Toronto last time, there's so many condos, and they start where the old Christie Bakery used to be. You
Yeah.
know, it's sort of that area and down that way, where there used to be like ladies of the night hotels. Now they're all $1 million condos and
Yeah.
with a great view. But I get lost because my landmarks are gone. You can't even see the CN Tower. Usually when you came past the 427 along the QEW, it would kind of open up. You could see downtown Toronto, and there's the CN Tower. Not so much now. You really have to look for it.
No, it's crazy.
Well,
even driving along the 401 at Leslie, where there's the IKEA, because I used to live in that area, and it was just basically IKEA and maybe one or two condos.
Yeah,
Now,
right.
I swear there must be like 10 condos all around that location now.
Yeah.
It just keeps growing up and up. And
well, the railway lands around, where the Rogers Sky Dome, whatever they call it now, and the CN Tower, like that was our playground, because there had to be like easily 20 railroad tracks, different lines, because that was kind of the terminus. They get freight trains hooked up, they repair them there, they do all kinds of stuff, and we used to play in them. Grampy would go into his office to do some work or grab something, and he'd say, "No, you just stay on these tracks. These, you just stay in this car or these cars. They know you're here, and don't go over there because trains are coming."
Wow,
I know.
It's I mean, that was the day and age of we didn't have to wear seatbelts. So yeah, go play on the railroad track.
Basically, now these ones are okay. You stay here,
and you guys are old enough to know better.
Well, I'd be like, what, 8 or 9, maybe 10. But yeah, he would take us down there.
Actually, just saying that, remember when he was the ticket collector at Main Street GO Station?
Yeah, the GO Station. And he let us
into the booth, and we felt so important.
I know. And then he'd give us, we could have free rides to the end of the line and back. And he'd be on the phone. Now my grandkids are going to be on this car. You make sure that they're okay, and they come back okay. They don't get off.
Man, the faith he had in us.
I know. Well, this is the man. Yes, I had all the pressure. Yeah, this is the man who, when he was, I think, 16, living in New Brunswick, and I think this is a true story, was on a wagon train all the way to Manitoba or Saskatchewan to help with the harvest.
Wow.
From New Brunswick, I mean, maybe he took the train, but the story is, I mean, he was from a very early age given a lot of independence. So I guess he kind of let that happen to us too.
He did a lot of amazing things.
He did.
And probably even half of what we know, right? And we'll never know the other half.
Yeah, some probably
some a little questionable, but... Yeah.
Like the time he got really drunk with the dentist, and the dentist looked in his mouth and said, "Don, you need some help there." And they're both like drunk as skunks.
This is in Dartmouth, right?
In Dartmouth, yeah. And so he goes back to the dentist's office and he pulls all of his teeth. Oh my God. Most of them anyway. And Grampy woke up the next day with no teeth. It's worse than getting a tattoo. He had no teeth. Yeah, that one looks pretty bad too, yoink. That one was... So Grampy had false teeth from an early age.
Oh my gosh.
I know. I probably no anesthetic either, because they were pretty lubricated as it was. Can you imagine? That's
like, who knows what proof they were drinking in Dartmouth.
The Privateer's Wharf, imports from other parts like the Caribbean that had 80 proof. God knows what they were drinking, or somebody still. Who knows?
Oh,
the stories we need to ask, the questions we need to ask.
Yeah. Okay, get out the candle. We're going to start looking in flames.
I started using my pendulum today. Just a minute.
Oh, and you probably know more than I know along the way,
I'm
too.
Older.
Yes.
It comes with age.
Yes, it does.
Well, yeah. No, Mom would tell me stories when we were up to all hours, and she was trying to figure out the bills. And she would tell me stories about growing up. She trained at the infirmary. I remember her telling me the story of training as a nurse there, and with the elderly nuns, and the tough nuns too. They were very exacting with their training. And she remembered holding somebody's hand, an elderly nun, actually. That's where it comes from. Her hand as she died, and hearing the cry of a baby that had just been born.
Oh, wow.
Mom could be kind of poetic telling stories when she wasn't yelling Jehovah and stuff.
Sugar.
She never swore. She never said a really 4-letter word. She'd say damn.
I don't think Graham swore.
She'd say hell.
Maybe. I know if we swore, out came the soap.
I got that once. You told on me, or somebody told on me, and I got the soap.
I think I told him our older brother once too.
Wendy
he got
snitch.
the bar.
You get the bar.
I think we talked about this before, and if she couldn't find the bar soap, it was like the dish detergent soap.
Oh my God. It could have been laundry soap. We were lucky.
Sunlight.
I still use that. Actually, I just stopped using it recently. We use Dawn now. I don't know why. But yeah, I use Sunlight for
one time I
decades.
used Palmolive, and I had these beautiful, and I have a couple left, but I had these hand-painted wine glasses that had cardinals on them.
Oh.
And I'm washing my cardinal glass in Palmolive.
No.
And I'm thinking, there's something not right here. Half my cardinals got washed off.
That's a bit caustic.
Then I think, about that commercial with Madge.
Madge.
Right? You're soaking in it, right?
My fingers are gone.
It's disintegrating the cuticles around. Because it's so toxic.
It's also a good nail polish remover. Yeah. I like the smell of Palmolive.
I haven't used it since.
I bet. I wouldn't either. Lose my cardinals.
Oh man,
that's pretty rotten. I would call and complain. You owe me some cardinal glasses. I like Dawn. I like the smell of Dawn.
Yeah.
There are some other blue dish detergents like it, but they don't have the same fragrance.
It's not the same.
And if you press it as you're pulling it up, you get bubbles. I love that. Fill the air with bubbles.
Remember, we got a quarter, 25 cents a week, was it? Allowance for doing dishes?
Yeah. Yeah, we were highly paid. Well, and for Mom, that was probably like $4, at the time. She didn't have a lot of money. But
and we'd always argue over who was going to wash and dry. Mm-hmm. I think it was a nightly thing. And then as we got older, we'd start singing opera in the kitchen as we were doing dishes.
I remember.
Not that we were actually singing opera songs, but whatever worked at the time.
That's right. It helped the time pass. Or we listened to the radio and sing, or remember we would make mixed tapes. We would sit by the radio and hit the record button, and then we'd play them. And it usually, sometimes at dinner, I think, doing the dishes.
Yeah.
In a quiet time.
Then we did the old, wet tea towel whipping at each other.
Oh,
too.
We were good. Yeah, we did some damage.
Down to a fine science.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Or fine art.
I still kill flies with the wet tea towel.
Oh,
it's true.
You should have got out of lasso.
I know.
It's like cowgirl experience stuff. In your years.
I love it. The flies in the kitchen on the stove. I get the tea towel and it's dead. I'm very accurate.
She's a dead eye, ain't she?
A dead fly. Dead fly.
She's a
Not
dead
that
eye,
kind of
dead
dead
fly.
Oh my gosh! I'm looking at the time. We've been talking for a while.
Oh, we have. Yeah,
Was that all we were going to talk about?
I think so. We weren't sure, because like as Deb said earlier, she's getting over something. I'm getting over something, and our energy's low. So we thought, well, let's do this anyways, because it's been a couple weeks, and it'll take us wherever it takes us. So
yeah,
and here we are.
Patiently listened to whatever this was. We really appreciate that. What is this, episode 27?
I think so.
89? No? I think it's 27.
I thought you meant like after death 80. Sorry. I have Easter in my head.
Oh dear. So yeah, Easter. We'll get Quizmaster Amy to do something delightful for next
She
week.
always has fun doing that. And maybe she can talk about her Easters as well. Because really, as their mother, I spoiled them.
Tell me
and
that.
She better admit to that.
Yeah, that's right.
Even still, they all get an Easter bunny. I may not see them all at the same time, but, you know.
I gave that up a little while ago. Living with guys, you know, they just don't have the same thing. They don't give me an Easter bunny. So, you know, it's all good. Oh. It's all good. I'd give myself an Easter bunny.
Well, everybody needs an Easter bunny.
I think so. But, yeah. No, we haven't really, they're not really much into Easter. And they often work, too.
That's true.
Yeah. So
it's not like the days of old where no one had to work on Easter Sunday, right?
That's right. So we'll have, we usually have a ham, which we probably won't do this time because it's very salty, unless we can find a different kind of ham. But
I know, because it's coming up like 2 weeks this weekend, and I haven't even thought what I'm going to be doing.
The 20th.
For an Easter dinner, so.
I know, time is flying.
It's different when everyone's living under one roof. It makes it easy, but where everyone's kind of scattered here and there, right? And
yeah.
I'm in Guelph, somewhere in Toronto, it's hard to kind of plan.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, so you make your own Easter.
Hopefully the snow will be gone and the freezing rain and just be sunshine.
Yeah, that's always the nice thing about a late Easter. That, even my tulips are coming up now. So, by Easter we should see something that looks like a bloom. Hopefully. Yeah, because we're coming into May after that. So
that's right.
I know, it's crazy.
All right. Well, thank you for listening, as Deb would say, to whatever this was.
I have no idea.
I took the words right out of her mouth tonight.
I did say it earlier, but she missed it.
Oh, that's true.
That's okay.
I heard. I just thought I'd throw it in again.
All right. Well, you can do that. I didn't copyright it or anything. Just like you take my chocolate.
Yeah, maybe I'll give you an Easter bunny with some bite marks out of it. Sure.
That'd be good. You can brand it. You can come up. Wendy's Easter bunnies.
That could work.
No head, no ears. It's just bite marks. Personally sampled by Wendy.
Oh my God. Now I have to come up with something.
Uh-oh. Here we go. Okay.
Anyways, well, take care, guys. Have a great week. And we'll be back next week for sure.
Take care. Bye.
Bye-bye.